Right now, generous people are raising money and collecting donations to help government workers during this shutdown. But that could land those workers in hot water. Let's connect the dots. Federal law says government workers can't supplement their salaries with outside income. And when it comes to accepting gifts, they can't take anything worth more than $25. The idea being that gifts and outside income could be a form of bribery, and the punishment for violating the rules is tough. Up to 5 years in prison and $50,000 in fines. But there is some debate whether the Office of Government Ethics is going to enforce this rule because the donations are being made out of sympathy. We're not sure though, because right now, the Office of Government Ethics is also shut down. Connecting the dots, I'm Rekha Muttaraj for H-Town Rush.